I want to show you how I can use the HoverCam to benefit the general music program. First of all, with students' books, I could have them point to particular notes or places without trying to verbally explain. If I have 35 students in my class, it's very hard to verbally explain. For example, if I was going to try to explain where to go from a first to second ending in music, I would just point up to the HoverCam and they can see where I'm going to start. I would go through and show them the directions for the first verse and how they're going to go clear through the first ending. I would point to the box. Then I would show them how you go back to the refrain and you would go through to the second verse. As we go through the second verse, you skip that first box, and you will go down to the second box, and you would be pointing, and they could see where you would go to the second ending. That took me about half the time to explain first and second endings than it would if I did not have the HoverCam. Okay, the HoverCam is excellent for when we have worksheets and manuscript papers or other printed media where they have that. As you can see with the worksheet, since music is a whole different language, we have Q's and H's and W's, and then we have B's and D's and G's. We're going to go ahead and write and demonstrate how correctly to make these so it's easier for the students to finish the worksheets. So, first of all, I will show them how to make the quarter note, which would be on the central line. But they may not know that the stem will go down because it is always on the line that goes from the center line up. So this way, those who are more visual can definitely see that's how you would write it. And then I would make another one. So they could see the B note goes like that, and it's colored in. But the half note would be white, and it is also going to be down. So as the students are doing this, they don't have to ask because they can visually see that. As we go on, I will let them fill in the next measure since it's the same one. But when we get to this one,
Mr. Moore, can you please contact the office?
Continually, I think they'll figure out that this is the B, but there are two D's on the treble clef in music. Which one would it be? I'll write it on the correct line so they'll know this is the correct D. And then I'll write the G on this line and they'll know when I put the line up, that's the correct way to make the G there. Am I going too fast, class?
No.
No, they're going quickly. Then we go to the A, and I'll write in the space note. They can see that's where it is. They can easily copy off, and then when they see that the whole note, the W, has no stem, there's very little explaining I have to do. And again, that saved lots of time when we're doing worksheets and manuscripts.
And go.
Another great way to use the HoverCam in music is when we're working with keyboards. One of the things is on a large screen, when I usually have this, I have a pointer or laser screen to just point to the different places. But I can't show them which finger to use on there. My fingers are too small, of course, for this. I could sort of, but it doesn't really give the right effect on that. With the HoverCam, I can put the specific finger on and they know exactly where to put it. First of all, students, if you put your hands out like this, show you the 5 right there, wiggle your thumb, that's number 1, 2 is the pointer, 3 is the middle, 4 is the ring finger, and the little one is 5. I really didn't even need to say that because automatically they were following my hand. Please put your thumb, number 1, on this C. and you would hit that twice, go to the G with your 4. Normally they would put 5, but this particular song has you put it on 4, and they automatically are there. Put your little finger on A, 4. So they have just played, if we had this in the real music room, the first 3 notes of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little. And it was much easier for them to play because they could see not only what the notes were, but how best to play it. There are many other ways I could use the HoverCam. For example, I have some electronic textbooks which I use that go up and down. It's really hard when there's one section of music on the bottom of the page and there's another section of music on the bottom of the page that I have to go back and forth very quickly. With the HoverCam, instead of doing that, I can go very quickly with the piece and just go back and forth very quickly. For example, there's one in this book right here, and I can just set it here, and then rather than having to go, I can go very quickly onto the next page and have it up here. And so if I have to, with a little practice, the students can see this much faster than when it's on electric keyboard. Also, I do a lot of songs from around the world. Rather than holding up a big map that I've been doing and just following around and showing every student closely where Mongolia would be, I could just put it under the HoverCam and that map would be there so they know where that song came from. Also, since the HoverCam records and is portable, I can record the students with the HoverCam and with them having to hover around my one little computer. So as you can see, there's lots of different ways I can use that. The video camera on that is also a great way to assess performance in there. So I would really like to say general music can really make a big difference with HoverCam.